This is episode 248 of the Beyond the Food Show, and today I'm going to share my vision for us as a collective. Welcome to the Going Beyond the Food Show. I'm Stephanie Dozier, clinical nutritionist and certified intuitive eating counselor, creator of the Going Beyond the Food method. And after a 25-year dieting career that started at the age of 12, I decided to say hell no to diet culture and hell yes to living my life to the fullest in my now body. And I made it my mission to help smart, successful women like you live confidently, unconditionally, right now. Ready, sister? Let's do this. Hello, sisters. Welcome back. This is a brand new solo episode, and I have to share something with you. I am nervous. I've been thinking about this episode for weeks, and it's here now. I have to record it, and you have to listen to it. So here's what's going on for those who may be new to the podcast because the podcast is growing, or you've been listening for months, perhaps even years. Here's a little background. In late June, I announced that I would take for the first time ever, a summer break from podcasting so I can give myself the space to be creative and work on a revolutionary project for all of us as a collective. So this thing that is so special and that will change thousands of women's life is about to be birthed in the next few weeks. But to give myself that space, I created this Back to Basics series where I associated myself with BetterHelp, which is a online therapy services that I personally use, and created the series with the top 5 episodes of the last 12 months. And last week I created a new episode, but it was an interview. So you may have noticed new music, new intro, and new B-roll at the end. But while I was going through this break and creating this thing, something else happened and I made a decision. Now, this decision was a long time coming, but the space created by this break allowed me to see what I had been pushing to the back, what scared me, because taking this subconscious thought and bringing it to my conscious mind meant change. As it is for me, like any other human being, change is scary. But having done this work, this self-development work for the last 10 years, I know that fear is the sign that something else bigger is on the other side. Fear is the sign that I'm on the edge of my comfort zone and I'm about to step into something on the other side that's really uncomfortable, that is new, and that will allow me to grow to the next stage of my life. Comfort zone is something I've been talking about for a long time because it's real. We all have one. You have one right now. I have one. It looks different for all of us. If I look back 10 years ago, my comfort zone was composed of working extremely hard for a major corporation, breaking the glass ceiling, being on the edge of always proving myself 24/7, hating my body, dieting, restricting, depriving myself of pleasure and nourishment, never trusting myself enough and consistently doubting my power and my abilities, and feeling unworthy. And saying yes to anything that was placed in front of me because that was a chance to prove my worth to the world. And that was my loop, my comfort zone. And I was in it for years, probably for a good 15 years. And I got sick. I collapsed. It's a whole other story. But I got sick and I immersed myself into the world of self-development. And my comfort zone expanded when I faced my fear of leaving my corporate job and go back to school. Going back to school at 36 years old. I can laugh now about it, but that was not easy. And trust me, anyone who's done something like that, it was not easy. And I opened a clinic and started practicing what I had learned in school. And then a few years later, my comfort zone, which was a clinic in nutrition, dispensing lifestyle and nutrition advice, that comfort zone became unbearable. I became really unhappy, really stressed, anxious, sad, depressed, all the feelings. Because I knew deep down in my heart the damage and the pain that I was causing these women that I was treating in my clinic, and I could not do it anymore. And I knew that I needed to leave the clinical environment to do something else, to create what I had lived for myself over the past few years, which was going beyond the food. So I had to face my fear and close a clinic, change my practice, and create beyond the food. And that was difficult. I spent, to be honest with you, a few weeks. Some of my clients know that because I share the story with them, curled on the couch, depressed, paralyzed with fear, and not knowing what to do, doubting myself again and all of my decision. But here I am, 4 years later, strong, happy, living a full life, and having helped thousands of women make peace with food and their body. But this summer, and to be honest, for the last months, I've started this same feeling of anxiety and knowing that something is not right. So here I am back at the edge of my comfort zone. I have 1 foot in my comfort zone, 1 foot in my discomfort, and I'm about to expand. I'm about to take the leap of faith to start something else new. So the decision that I made this summer is that I'm done. I'm done convincing people that diet don't work. I'm done trying to convince people to stop dieting. I'm done trying to convince women that they do not need to be thin and small. I'm done trying to convince women that their body is not the problem. I'm done trying to convince women that food is not the problem. I'm done trying to convince women that they're not the problem, but that diet culture is. I'm done because every ounce of energy I'm spending on convincing women to something else that is other than their belief right now, I'm actually being the oppressor. I'm done because I have seen that pushing women into a choice that they aren't ready for doesn't work. I'm done because every time I'm trying to sell a woman on the idea or concept that right now they don't believe, doesn't work. I'm done because every time I'm playing on their vulnerability instead of their power, it doesn't work. I'm done because every time I'm pressuring women to, quote, fix their pain instead of claiming back their power, it doesn't work. I'm done because every time I'm spending time convincing women that they should quit diet culture, I am not helping the women who have made the choice and need to be supported differently. I have a legacy of 248 free podcast episodes. I've calculated it, which is almost more than 200 hours of teaching, demonstrating why diet culture is working against women. 200 hours of free teaching, free coaching, free support to women in hope that they're going to make the choice to quit dieting. So from this day forward, I will dedicate my time, my creative energy, helping women who have made the decision to call it quit with diet culture, because stopping dieting is a revolutionary act. This episode is my coming out. I'm stepping away from my comfort zone of my work being centered around convincing and stepping into a new space of enabling. I want to support women who have made their individual choice. I want to create a space for these courageous people to thrive. These women who need a safe space to unlearn decade of indoctrination. They need to learn a new way to live, and they need to be inspired by other women who have made the same choice as them, and through their action, be motivated to continue on their journey. Women who, because of their choice and personal work, are now confident, at peace with food and body, and live their full life right now unconditionally. I want to build a collective of these women that are liberated from diet culture so that we make sure the next generation of women isn't oppressed in the way we have been. I know we deserve to be free as women. When we diet, we aren't free. Point. Diet culture takes women's freedom and power. In today's modern society, women have the power of choice. We have the power to say hell no to dieting. We aren't bound to diet culture, but no one else but ourselves can make the choice to quit dieting. I believe it is our birthright to feel worthy. I believe that it is our birthright to enjoy our body and our lives. I believe we deserve to feel good in our body. I believe we deserve to wear clothes that fits and makes us feel amazing and even sexy. I believe we deserve to live the life that we want to the fullest. I believe we deserve peace, lasting peace with our body and food. And I believe we deserve freedom from the constant self-doubt, shame, from the mean girl voice in our head, from food obsession. And I know and believe we can be happy, energetic, and healthy, independent of our body size, because we can trust and respect our current body and practice self-care. I know and believe we are worthy to feel better right now. But because of diet culture and its unrelenting pressure to be thin, it messes with our head and our life. It has us convinced that unless we achieve the thin ideal, we don't deserve to live fully. That unless we try harder, we haven't earned the right to be happy. And from this day forward at Beyond the Food, we call this BS, bullshit. And we say enough is enough, no more. We want all the women to unlearn the conditioning from patriarchy and free themselves from the shackle of diet culture. Our new mission is to help women who have made the choice, their personal choice, to quit diet culture, to conquer their mind, food, and body image so that they can thrive right now, to undo the conditioning, the socialization, and the internalization of patriarchy and diet culture. So moving forward, the Going to Beyond the Food show's purpose is to fuel the fire of every woman to claim their power and then fuel their power of choice so that they can make the decision that is right for them. Because the truth is, as human, we exist at choice. When women make the choice to no longer be the victim of diet culture, to say hell no to diet culture and hell yes to themselves, freaking magic happen. Because when women do the work to go beyond the food, they know that diet culture is the problem, not them. And that's the deep knowing that fuel self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-worth. Because when women do the work of going beyond the food, they don't think of their body as a sign of their own self-worth anymore. They engage with their body as a tool for them to live their life. Because when women do the work of going beyond the food, they manage their mind. They think intentionally empowering thoughts and no longer are the victim of the mean girl voice in their head. Because when women do the work of going beyond the food, they eat intuitively because they know they can trust their body. They refuse to have food be anything more than just food. Because when women do the work of going beyond the food, they respect their body as the tool that allow them to experience life. So they practice self-care. Because when women do the work of going beyond the food, they live intentionally and on purpose. They surround themselves with like-minded women and become a source of inspiration for others. Because when women do the work of going beyond the food, they enjoy their body and their life. And they influence the next generation of women. So that today's young girls are being led by confident and empowered women. Because changing the future for the next generation of women in face of diet culture and patriarchy is everything to me moving forward. We can't leave to others this work of freeing the next generation. If we don't liberate ourselves from diet culture, the next generation will continue to be oppressed by diet culture. Liberation from diet culture will not be led by corporations who actually benefit from women being indoctrinated in diet culture. Remember that the weight loss industry is a $72 billion industry in the USA alone in 2017. If you think they will self-sabotage themselves and throw down diet culture by themselves, never going to happen. The feeling of discomfort that I felt of being in my own status quo, of convincing women, was by far more uncomfortable than the prospect of change. Professionally, as a clinical nutritionist, I have an immense body of work that explains the science as to why diet don't work, why food is not the problem, how to overcome emotional eating, binge eating, body image struggle. And all of that is available for free either on my website or here 200 episodes later. So to help you, we've created a roadmap to make it even easier for you to navigate all this free content. For years now, when people join our digital community, we've been asking one question to them. You may have answered that question if you're part of our email community. Remember the question, what is your biggest struggle? And every time we were able to direct you to a podcast or a blog article to help you answer this question. And that's the realization that I had a few months back. How many more times can I explain that food is not the problem, that body image is not the problem? I've done it all. It's said into dozens of different ways. So we took your answer, the top 5 struggle that women coming in our community over the last 4 years have shared with us, and we created a guide where you will be directed to exactly what the answer is and the step-by-step process. So here's these 5 questions that most women come into our community with. Number 1, so I quit dieting. Now, what am I supposed to do? Question 2, what's missing from my program? 3, what am I hungry for? 4, I have body fantasies. I think I should be 10 and I'm afraid of gaining weight. And the last one is a mindset one. How can I step beyond the struggle? So if that's you right now and you have one or perhaps even many of those questions, we have the answer for you, step by step, what you need to do. And it's inside of this guide. I call it the roadmap. You can grab it. It's totally free. In the show notes, you just click roadmap or you go to stephaniedozzi.com/roadmap. Now, where are we heading? Here's what I know. Thousands of women listen to the show every week. Unfortunately, many don't take action. Many will email me or leave a review and say something like, I'm binging on all your episodes, hoping that one day it will click. Here's what I know after doing this work specifically around intuitive eating and body image for the last 4 years. That, quote, click will not come as a result of listening to someone like me yelling at you as to why diet is bad. And honestly, that's what most of the anti-diet world is about. Yelling as to why diet don't work and leaving you feeling ashamed as to why you can't stop giving your power to the thing that is so bad. What I know is that quote, click that many describe is actually not the result of knowing the science of health at every size or anti-diet doctrine, but instead, the click that many describe is the outcome of connecting to your power. That click is you connecting to your power. And this is what I want the next 250 episodes of this podcast to be about. Yep, I'm committing to 250 more episodes. You and I in a relationship of connecting to our power together. We live in a patriarchal society that enforces beauty ideal as a way to keep women busy and unable to believe that they have power over their own life and body. This leaves us women at war with ourselves, feeling uncomfortable in our own skin, stuck in self-doubt and shame, continuously obsessing about food and living a half-life. Here's the real truth. It's not that we can't accept our body or eat normally. It's that we haven't been given the resource, thought the skills, or socialized to approaching life with our own power, being in our own power as we move through life. I want my next comfort zone, the next 250 episode, to focus on you and I being in our power. I want to help you learn the skills you weren't purposely taught while growing up, making you the perfect target for diet culture. I want to help you conquer your mind because that's where everything starts. Conquer your mindset to be confident. Trusting yourself to conquer your decision about food and health. Respecting your body so you can create your own body image and sense of worth. That's what I call conquer and thrive. Are you coming with me? That you stop dieting today, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, this work is for you. Here's what you should do next. Number 1, if you still have question about why diet culture is the problem, that you still think that perhaps you are the problem, go grab the roadmap and take yourself through these top 5 questions and then come back here in the next episode. Step 2, subscribe to the podcast. We will continue to have a weekly episode that will reconnect you with your power. And then step 3, if you feel called to move yourself outside of your own comfort zone, maybe you should join the waitlist for Conquer and Thrive. And that's available in the show notes. Here's what I have coming for you in the next few weeks. I just wanted to tease you to what type of episode we have coming. Next week, the good girl syndrome. Following week, diet culture gel. Stopping dieting, a revolutionary act, believing in your power. The feminist approach to food, and body, the black outfit. These are just some of the episodes that we have scheduled for you over the next 6 months. That's when my planning is done until the end of the year. So I hope you're going to join us. I love you, sister, and I look forward to hang out with you on the next episode when we talk about the good girl syndrome. Hey you, if you enjoy listening to this show, you have to come and check Conquer and Thrive. It's my monthly coaching program that comes with expert courses that will show you exactly how to take this life-changing work and apply it into your own life. We teach you how to change your mindset, eat intuitively, and master body confidence. That you've decided to stop dieting today or years ago, Conquer and Thrive will help you take this knowledge deeper into real life practices. It comes with access to me as your coach and my team of experts. Join us by simply going to www.stephaniedodier.com/join. I can't wait to meet you inside our Conquer and Thrive community. I'll see you on the other side.